Shooting Star, Celestia, A True Love by Swedish Dub. Shooting Star is one of Candela's noble stallions and also an astronomer. One day when Shooting Star was out for a walk, he has been studying at his home almost entire night and half the morning, but he couldn't fall asleep, so he decided to take a walk to make it better to me if he could fall asleep. Then, when he was walking by the castle, he could see Princess Celestia. She was talking to her sister Luna in the garden, but the Shooting Star couldn't exactly hear what they're talking about, but he could only see them. Shooting Star has been in love with Celestia for over 3 years. Even he is a noble. He thought he would never had a chance with Celestia, since she is a royal and he is a noble. Even he has given Celestia compliments for her rule with Luna, and even given her some gifts like flowers or chocolates. But over the last 3 years, he wanted to make it clear for her that he loves her. But what did he know? He had no idea how to do it. At many times he had tried to talk to her and tell her, but at every time he get nervous, and at each time he tried to figure out the right words to say it. But at some time, when he tried to tell her, he became so scared, so he take a different approach, which later turns out just to normal, regular conversation, not profession. Shooting Star was still looking at Celestia and Luna while they were in the garden before they entered back into the castle. Shooting Star was hoping to find at some time to tell Celestia how he felt for her. But most of the time she never left the castle, either when she was away from to diplomatic missions or spending some other meetings with other delegates, either in Canterlot or in Crystal Empire. But one day, Shooting Star received a letter from the castle. It was actually an invitation to this grand galloping gala. At that, he thought that might be the perfect moment to tell her. But he also knew, most of the time at the gala, Celestia were always talking to other guests or even other delegates who was also invited. But to have at least a try to chance to find her and tell her. But Shooting Star didn't know exactly how to tell her. So he often tries talking to himself into the mirror, trying to at least practice how he could tell her. But every time he tried a different approach while talking to himself, he thought might be different. Some of those tries might not work as he thought. And the day before the Grand Galloping Gala, he was practice almost an hour at front of the mirror. Dear Your Highness, do I may have a moment with you? There is something I want like to tell you something. That um, but every time he tried, he just stopped. He was so nervous to even tell me in the mirror itself. But then he said, "I'm in love with you." That what he tried would say to Celestia. But he knew that even he had it at the right moment, he might not say it at all. But he would try, at least. So the night when the Grand Gala was happening, Shooting Star was talking to some other guests or friends who was there as well, from the noble society. But then he saw Celestia talking to Luna and Princess Twilight Sparkle. He could see them were laughing and talking about something. But then Luna walked away, and for at least a few minutes later, Twilight left. Then Celestia was standing there alone. Then he thought that might be the perfect moment to tell her. So Shooting Star took enough courage to and slowly walked from the hallway straight to Celestia, who was standing there at the balcony, who was looking at the stars and the moon. And Shooting Star could feel his heart was beating so fast, and he was so nervous that he shake. Your Highness? Yes? Hello, Shooting Star. Are you liking the gala? Yes, Your Highness, said Shooting Star. Why are you out here alone? Asked Shooting Star. I needed some fresh air, said Celestia. Can I keep you company, or you prefer to be alone? You can stay, said Celestia. Shooting Star was standing next to Celestia, and for a moment he didn't say anything, just looked out the stars and the moon, and sometimes he just looked at Celestia, who was smiling, and just listened to the sound of the silence in the night. Your Highness, there is something I wanted to tell you, said Shooting Star. Yes? Well, over for the past 3 years, I have had some strong feelings for you, Your Highness. And I know that I am just a noble, and I might not have any chance against our royalty, said Shooting Star. And Shooting Star was prepared for being told that he wouldn't have any chance at all. But then, just before he got something he didn't expect, Celestia went forward and gave him a kiss on the cheek. Shooting Star looked at Celestia with surprise, and she was blushing when he looked at her. I noticed. Every time you looked at me, I noticed that you blushed when you saw me. Really? I thought you never looked at me except that direction, said Shooting Star. Well, you did seem to almost have this big crush on me. I'm so sorry, Your Highness. I know that just a noble that. Please stop, said Celestia. You might be a noble, but your heart is pure, and you are a kind one. And even you gave me so much gifts over last years, but I am still appreciated that you are who you are. And I like you, Shooting Star. Shooting Star was literally shocked. He looked at Celestia, then he asked her, Would you like to go out with me? For a moment, there was silence. And then, Of course, said Celestia. Shooting Star was so unprepared for this answer, but he was just happy that she said yes. I can take you for a picnic tomorrow if you want. I would like that, said Celestia. Now, let's go back to the gala, and we can dance if you want. Sure, Your Highness. Already next day, Shooting Star was waiting outside the castle with a picnic basket. He was sweating and he was so nervous that this date was going to be good. And just then, Celestia walked out from the castle. Good day, Shooting Star, said Celestia. Good day, Celestia, said Shooting Star back. Are you ready? She said back. Yeah, I'm ready. Then Celestia and Shooting Star was walking through town to a small park just outside. Shooting Star had packed with daisy sandwiches, cupcakes, and a chocolate cake, and some apple cider from Ponyville. They both really enjoyed this time together, even there were no guards or any other police nearby. Shooting Star was not so much nervous anymore, since he was alone with Celestia, but he could still feel some sort of nervous in his heart. But at the same time, he felt calm. He didn't know that he thought this was just a dream, but he knew for sure it was not a dream at all. After they had their picnic, they were sitting there under a tree and talked to each other and listened to the birds singing. I really enjoyed this time with you, Celestia, said Shooting Star. Likewise, said Celestia. I cannot know how much I was so nervous just to ask you out, and how much I tell you how much I like you, said Shooting Star. The same here, said Celestia. Sometimes I just wanna leave the Royal Society just for a moment, just to relax, even if it was for an hour or two, said Celestia. Same here, said Shooting Star back, and just smiled at her. A little later, Shooting Star walked with Celestia back to the castle, and well outside the castle, they talked just for a moment, and then Celestia said, Thank you for the nice date, Shooting Star. I really appreciate it. Likewise, said Shooting Star back. Maybe we can do something again sometimes. I would like that, said Shooting Star. And then Celestia was running all forward and gave him a kiss, and smiled at him, and went back to her castle. For the next few months, Shooting Star and Celestia would keep doing their dates. Even then, Luna was surprised to hear about it. but she was happy that Celestia had found her special soul pony. Sometimes Celestia and Shooting Star had their dates at the castle, eating dinners there, or even had some picnics in the castle garden. Even Shooting Star sometimes took with Celestia to a local restaurant, even trying some new kind of food which Celestia hadn't tried before. He even took her outside the castle to a meadow to watch the stars with her. Even when they had been together for about 2.5 years, Shooting Star thought he might felt the right moment, so he bought a ring. And the same day we was going to the castle to propose to Celestia, he thought that something else would happen, but we didn't know. He saw a few young stallions talking to Celestia, and they were all talking about marriage. He was shocked. He thought maybe he's become some sort of a spare stallion. But when Celestia saw him, she smiled so much and she just ran up to him. And then he did it. He actually showed the ring and proposed to Celestia. And the other stallions just looked at Celestia when she said, yes, yes, over 1,000 times, yes. Luna was well surprised of the proposal, but she was just happy for her sister. And the wedding was held in Canterlot 2 months later. Twilight were Celestia's best mare, and, well, another friend of Shooting Star was his best man. And the wedding was held later at the castle, of course, and they spent their honeymoon at Las Pegasus. 5 years after the wedding, Celestia told Shooting Star that they were going to be parents, and Shooting Star was well unprepared to be a father, but he said that he will be with her at many cost at any time now. When the time came, they had a son, which they named Orion after the legendary king Orion. When Orion was a bit older, his father was teaching him a lot about astronomy and even some legendary history kings like Orion or many others, since Shooting Star was also interested in history. Orion, well, he was also interested in stories and about astronomy. So when Orion became older, he studied to become an astronomer like his father, but not at the same time. He was studying to become a teacher. Also, he became a teacher of history at the local school in Canterlot. That's when Shooting Star and Celestia found their true love and got a family together.